All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, you guys, I decided not to teach it today because I am really concerned about your notation and everything. And yesterday, the main thing was attend to precision, because a lot of you are, it has to do with your notation as far as the use of, it has to do with negatives and how you're not being careful with them. And so I kind of want to slow things down today and make sure that we are showing correct work. Because obviously, if we're not showing correct work, we're going to get problems wrong, in the future on the SAT. And we have to be able to show correct work. That's the most important thing, not getting the correct answers. I mean, we've got to show correct work. Because as a result, if we always show correct work, we're going to get correct answers as a result. All right. One comment before we get started. I do want you to have your Math Wizard teams always set up. So what's happening is I'm having to wait too long for you guys to enter your Math Wizard team. Some of you are going to the restroom. Some of you are getting food. No, we're not doing any of that. You are to go into your Math Wizard teams in less than 30 seconds. Because let me tell you what's happening. Though most of you are doing a great job with that. Those of you who are coming in late, I've already taken attendance, and I have to change 3 forms. I have to change the attendance form, I have to change the synchronous form, and I have to change the asynchronous form. And it's a lot of work for me, and I'm tired of it. When I ask you to go to the Math Wizard teams, go immediately. So that means you have to have them set up. So in other words, be ready for class. Have your Math Wizard teams ready to go. Most of you do it. Some of you just don't, and you habitually are late. I'm over it. So get into your Math Wizard teams right away, less than 30 seconds. All right. So last time I was talking, this is pre-cal, let me erase this. I was talking about geometric series, and basically I was making the distinction that a geometric sequence is a sequence separated by commas that have a common ratio, but a geometric series is one, it's a geometric sequence separated by plus signs. So it's a sum. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take any questions you might have, because I did not like the way you worked the problem that I gave you. Last time, remember, I gave you a problem to work in your teams. I did not like the way you worked it. In other words, it was incorrect work. So anybody want me to work a problem so we can look at it again?
Yeah, it was on the worksheet we worked on, and it was number 5.
Yeah. All right. So this is the practice AB. And let me pin myself. And if you're always wondering, why does she pin herself at the beginning? Because I'm looking at you and I'm looking to see who's in class. I'm looking to see who has their video on. So I'm looking at things, and that's why I do not pin myself right away. Okay, this is a big number, right? 46,875. And they're asking you to determine the number of terms. Well, guess what? We don't know the number of terms. Is there 4, 5, 6, 7? How many terms are there? So unless you're going to spend a year trying to figure this out, you do want to use the geometric explicit rule for the geometric sequence. To determine the number of terms. And then you use the sum formula. You cannot use this formula without knowing the number of terms. So we have Now, students have been asking me, how do you know what to put in here? Well, if we're trying to find the number of terms, don't we need to know the final term? And isn't f of n y? And isn't y our answer? The end? So you put in 46,875. The first, so see how you have the last term in the first term? That's what you need, right?
Yes.
And the common ratio, we're going to need that. So we have to take 15 divided by 3. You must do it in this order. 75 divided by 15, and that's all we can do. So isn't the common ratio 5?
Yeah.
So now what we have is we have an exponential function. And what I'm saying is that your variable is in a power and we need to get them down from there. So if we have to solve for n, we got to get them down, right?
Yeah.
And if you multiply this, some of you are multiplying that, you violated the order of operations, PIMDOS. You cannot multiply before you evaluate an x. So you want to isolate the variable. Well, how do you isolate the variable? You divide by 3. Well, do we have to do that? Yes. Yes, you have to do that. So what's 46,875 divided by 3?
15,625.
So now what's next? Well, I've only given you one thing. And I've given you a property that says the bases are the same for exponents. Then you can drop off the bases and equate the exponents. That's the only rule I've given you. And guess what? That's the only rule you have to use. So you have to make this look like a 5. And if it was negative, you would have to make it look, if this was negative 5, you'd have to make it negative. Just drop off the negative. All right. So now we have to make this number look like a 5. So what power is it? Is there a power that gives you 15,625?
6.
5 to the power 6.
Okay. So now I can use this property, which says I can drop off the bases. And so n is equal to 7, right?
Yeah.
So now it's like, well, what were we doing? We weren't doing this. We're trying to find the sum. So now we can do the problem. So we want the sum of the first how many terms? 7. You see an n. So our first term is 3. And we have 1 minus the common ratio, which is 5 to the 7 over 1 minus 5. See that negative? That's not part of the power. That's not part of the power. So you have 3 times 1 minus whatever 5 to the 7th is. Well, what's 5 to the 7th on the calculator?
78,125.
25 or 3?
25 at the end.
Okay, and 1 minus 5 is a negative 4. So what you have here is a negative 78124 over a negative 4. And let me assure you, now, when you write this out for me, hopefully if I'm teaching it, if you don't put a negative divided by negative, I'm going to mark because it's wrong. It is a negative divided by a negative. You don't just drop off the negatives. So now you say a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So what's 78,124 divided by? Use a calculator for that. It's a big number.
$19,531.
531. And now you can put that on the calculator. So what's 1931 times 3?
58,593.
Okay, do you guys agree with that or not? I do not have the answer key in front of me.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you guys understand that it's very important that you show correct work? Because it is going to be impossible to get the correct answer if you do not show correct work. This is a lot, and you must show correct work. So there isn't like, well, it's close enough. It's close enough. No, if you don't show correct work, you're not going to get the right answers. So this is a model. This is exactly what you want to do. Do not do anything different. If you do something different, you should ask me, hey, is this legit? And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you, that's not mathematically correct. So I showed you the most efficient way, and this is correct notation. All right, so what I decided to do today, since it's a kind of a short period anyway, it's kind of like half, usually we're in class 80 minutes. We're in class today for 45 minutes. So it's almost half the time we normally spend. So what I would like you to do is if you want to hang out with me right now and ask me a question, like if you need me to work another problem or something, otherwise I want you to go to your Math Wizard team and find some problems. So whether they be online or whether they be on this or whether they be in the book, there's lots of problems to do. I'm sure you haven't done the entire lesson. It's a lot of work. So the thing is, though, is you have to find problems that your team hasn't worked. So if people have worked number 1 on this, can't do number 1. You have to work, you're going to find problems that your team hasn't worked. But I am giving you the option today you can hang out here if you want to ask me a question. Otherwise, you're going to your team. All right, any questions? Okay, any questions right now with the class?
Ms. Birch,
Yeah.
I'm just curious, are we gonna have a test this Friday?
Probably not, because I'm scared right now.
Okay.
So the next test is scheduled for the 12th, which is the next Friday. But I'm not going to stop teaching. So I'm going to schedule a test for next Friday. And this assignment 3-2 is due on Tuesday. But you have a lot of time to do this, but I'm not going to stop teaching. So everything is kind of things that are due or delayed, but I'm not going to stop teaching because I'm going at a snail pace right now. It's driving me crazy. So. Okay, anything else right now? All right, well, like I said, if you want to ask me questions, you can stay here. Otherwise, I'll see you in your group, in your teams. All right, I'm gonna turn off the recorder right now.
Will we be returning?
We're not returning today because it's a short period, so we're not returning.
Okay, thank you.